All right.
I'm awake. I'm awake.
Cool. Yeah. I'm pretty sure the stream's going to start with me just yawning like crazy. To be fair, I got like 2 hours of sleep last night.
Oh
So,
man. Okay, then I got a little bit more than you, but I'm still pretty beat tired.
yeah. So, the show is going to be what it is tonight.
It is. I guess it is. Yes, it is. Oops. There goes that.
Oh, that was you. Okay.
That was me. That was me.
All right.
I forgot to mute my speakers over here.
Well, welcome to Talking Heads, everyone. Episode 334, your once-weekly live show for the latest in beer and tech news. I'm Jeff.
I'm Steve.
Welcome to the show, everyone. Thank you all so much for joining on this Wednesday night or in podcast form over on Anchor.fm or wherever, Spotify, because branding change, over on Spotify or wherever your favorite podcasts are found. If you've never seen the show before, we talk beer, we talk tech, we talk games, pop culture, entertainment, sometimes some Star Trek. All super chats are read on the air so long as they will not permanently demonetize the channel. We do drink alcohol on the show, and if you're drinking along with us, alcoholic or not, let us know in the chat, and we'll give some early show shout-outs as we go along. Last but not least, if you'd like to take part in the super secret chat and the even more super secret after party, think about joining the Patreon. Link is down in the video description. As a bonus, you'll get exclusive access to my Discord server where you can chat with myself, John, Rhett, Steve, all the hosts from Talking Heads, and join the awesome community that hangs out over there.
Okay.
Welcome to the show.
1 for 1 on that one. That was good. No hiccups. 1 for 1 right there.
Well, I said Anchor.fm instead of Spotify. I've only said Anchor.fm for like
all right.
4 years, and all of a sudden it's like, no, it's just Spotify now.
It's just Spotify. Oops.
Like, we're not changing platforms. We still upload to the same place, but now instead of Anchor.fm, it's just now part of Spotify.
Yeah.
We were always on every major carrier. We were on Google, we were on iTunes, we're on Spotify, we're on Anchor, we're on everything. But I upload there, so I give them credit. So
all right.
It's not even a sponsored thing. Like, Spotify, give me money. Wouldn't that be great?
I think Spotify's got plenty of money. They're eating up a lot of stuff. They're gobbling people up left and right.
Yep. Yeah. No, if you didn't realize, the intro has never been a sponsored intro. It's not like Talking Heads brought to you by Anchor.fm. That's just where I happen to upload the crap.
Brought to you in part by the letter C.
Yeah.
And the number 5.
and Patreon. I mean, viewers like you.
Viewers like you. Yeah.
Anyway, should be a good show tonight. We've got a little bit of AMD news. We've got some Microsoft news. Not really news, just more of a question in general. And while Microsoft is the focus of this particular question posed by Windows Central, I think it's a question to ask like every tech company right now. So I figured we'd just start with that. Nike partners with some retro developers to bring out a brand new game for a retro console. And again, OnlyFans are the reason we can't have anything nice. But first, let's go ahead and get this show started right. Steve, what have you got for a beverage tonight?
Right. So I just got back from a weekend of camping. Well, actually, a little bit longer than a weekend of camping. And I took all my good beer with me and drank it out there. So when I got back, I didn't have time to go to the store. So I kind of climbed into the back of my beer fridge to get some stuff. But it's still decent stuff. I got Einger, like a nice German beer, Einger, a Brauweiss, which is just like your standard German Hefeweizen, which I prefer the German Hefeweizens to the American Hefeweizens, which I find to not like that much. And a deal that I couldn't pass up that I just kept in my fridge, the Dogfish Head 90-minute IPA, which is a fine, tasty IPA.
Solid brew.
9%. Got it for $3. So
nice.
Yeah. Can't pass that up. So those are my 2 beers for the evening. Both lots of amounts of liquid. So don't be surprised if I have to leave sometime towards the end of the stream.
That's one thing people don't understand is drinking 2 beers on this show is actually a lot of work.
It is. I'm going to start with the German beer because I know I'm not going to make it through the tall boy of IPA. I just know it. So
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna go tall boy first, and then back down to a pint.
okay.
But I've got a beer that I've actually never heard of this brewery before. They're up in Washington, Black Raven Brewing. Grandfather Raven Imperial Stout. This is 9.5%. Apparently, it's very well reviewed by very few people. So I'm really curious to see how that one pans out. My brother-in-law actually got me that one for my birthday a couple of months ago, and it's been sitting in the fridge, and it's like, all right, it's time to break it out. And then, kind of like you, I also picked up a tall boy of a regional favorite.
Yeah.
I've got some Cryo Stash from Hop Valley.
Yeah.
So this is if you've ever heard of cryo hops, that is a Hop Valley invention, patent, etc. They make them, they sell them, but it's freeze-dried hops. So instead of buying hops in bulk, you can buy freeze-dried concentrate hops. And this is their primary beer that they do with it is Cryo Stash, and it's freaking amazing. It's a double IPA that is absolutely great. 8.7, 8.9, something like that percent.
Yeah.
Also $3.
Yeah. I was just going to say, I don't know how far Hop Valley distributes, but it's the best beer you can get for your buck. It honestly is, because it's really cheap and inexpensive. It's only a little bit more than your domestic beers and stuff like that, but they taste way better. And it's, as far as like just IPAs go, they're totally fine. They're in fact above average for the most part. So yeah, if you guys don't get Hop Valley, I feel sorry for you, man, because it's just nice, good, delicious, cheap beer.
Nice. Let's see. John Jay's got a barrel-aged Impurator by Elder Pine Brewing.
Oh.
A Rauch beer smoked lager, so he's got a Vienna smoked lager at 11%.
Holy moly. I don't see too many lagers that high.
I've seen some like 7% smoked lagers before. Good God, man!
I think at that point it's a smoked. It's a smoked malt liquor at that point.
Right, it's a smoked liqueur.
Yeah.
Let's see. Justice says, I just watched some of your AliExpress water cooling videos. I've got a couple of those. I've got a couple interesting ones up on the channel. Quite interesting. I'm now doing a higher end water cooling that has a majority of AliExpress. Nice. Yeah. No, great value to be had there. For sure. Even, for some high end parts, some like the Bi-Ski water blocks and pumps and whatnot. They make some really good stuff for very affordable prices. Let's see. Jason's got a Voodoo Ranger Tropic Force. I love that one.
Yeah, Tropic Force is actually really good. I think it's one of my favorite out of the Voodoo Ranger stuff that they crank out.
Bee's Knees got a straight to ale Brother Joseph's Belgian style Dubel. Clocking in at 8%. A lot of good beers clocking in.
Yeah, I know. Dubels.
Reverence cracking into a Drecker. Chunk Blackberry Caramel Sundae Sour. 4.31 on Untapped.
Wow, that must be a jammy sour, I'm guessing. I mean, that's just all dessert stuff right there.
It says Chunk Blackberry, so I'm assuming jammy sour.
This is really just like, when you were a kid, you just always wanted to have candy. It was just candy. Once they started putting out pastry stouts and jammy sours, it was just the adult way of like eating candy all the time.
Yeah.
It's like, I just want candy. And this is like the adult version of candy.
And it keeps going. Novella Hub, Adroit Theory, Auto Trepanation, Barley Wine, Kona Coffee, Macadamia Nut, Toasted Coconut, and Bourbon Honey.
Oh my God.
12%, 4.43 on Untapped. How long of a day was it for everyone else? That's what I'm seeing a theme.
I would have thought that this was like
like sometimes we get like, oh, I've got an athletic, I've got a Diet Dr. Pepper, I've got I'm seeing nothing but double digits out of you folks. And like top shelf stuff. Like
People want it to be Friday. I think they want it to be Friday already, is what it
Yep.
is.
Allison's got a bottle of Bailey's on the go. It's 2 a.m. here. I may or may not last to the after party. Eric's drinking a water. Alcohol messes with my ADHD meds. I've gone through similar issues. Good on you for being healthy.
Yeah.
That is fantastic. During the day I drink water.
Yeah.
So
No, me too. I have that exact.
Nothing wrong with that.
I have that exact. Well, you gave it to me, but yes, I have the exact water bottle. I think I go through about 2 of them a day.
Yeah.
On the days I'm not drinking, I just pound through it.
And I always want to reiterate, never come in here and think you're being shamed into drinking.
Yeah.
I celebrate all beverages. I had a non-alcoholic cider on a video that I filmed today because I just like beverages in general.
Yeah.
And you are all on your own personal journey. So if you drink, cool. May you drink with us. Let us know what you're drinking. We enjoy the hobby. If you don't drink, cool. Let us know what you do otherwise. I enjoy the hobby. So...
And if you can't drink and you do want to try beer, Athletic, like he had mentioned before, Athletic is a great non-alcoholic beer company that a lot of their beers taste just like the normal stuff.
Yep.
So, you know.
Yeah, no, the Athletic Pale Ale is fantastic.
Yeah, yeah.
Oft Infinity's got a Southern Tier Brewing Orange Twist Imperial Ale, 8.6. Fart says he could go for a stout right now.
Yeah.
Williams got a Badger Snack Peanut Butter Stout, 6.3%. Badger Hill Brewing, Shakopee, Minnesota. Let's see. Yep, and everyone clocking in with, yes, today went exactly as you thought, which is why I'm grabbing the barley wine.
Yeah, exactly.
Good stuff. Novella Hub says beer 3, shelf 1, Skull.
Yeah.
And yes, it was shelf 3, beer 1 when Skull got me last week. So,
oh, was it?
Yeah. Yeah, Skull's after party, I went, I want another beer, but I don't know what to get. And I have my beer fridge right behind me.
Yep.
That's a dangerous fridge. And Skull, longtime moderator, really good friend, goes, shelf number 3, beer number 1. So I went shelf 3, beer number 1, and I pulled out a Bomber 13% Imperial Stout.
and if I remember right, you had something pretty heavy already during Talking Heads.
I had a couple of 8s. It wasn't.
Okay, it wasn't
I had like an 8 and a
hard.
6 or something like that. Yeah.
Oh,
Because I had a rye hazy IPA, which by the way, I need to get you and John cans of that. It is a top 5 beer that I've had this year.
What was it called?
Drop Bear Brewery out of Eugene.
Because I had a rye hazy that I actually did not like, but anyway, what was the name of it?
It was Drop Bear Brewery out of Eugene, Oregon. It was the Weil Riley, WILE.
Oh yeah, Weil Riley. Yeah, Drop Bear.
Yeah.
Okay, no, I have not had that one.
Top 5 beer this year.
Really? Because I do like rye beers. I like rye whiskey. Yeah. I like rye beers.
Yep.
You don't get too many rye IPAs, and you get even less rye hazies.
Yeah, this was a hazy with like rye. It was so good.
Oh, okay. I'm seeing a picture. Okay, I have seen Drop Bear before, but I have not seen this particular one. I'll have to go look for it.
Yep. No, I found a couple of 4-packs this last week, and I'm like, that looks interesting. So I picked them up and cracked one of those up, and I'm like, this is dangerous good.
The dangerous good. That's
yeah.
We got to make like the D&D versions of beer, what's lawful good, dangerous, or chaotic neutral or whatever. Chaotic good.
Yep. Anyway, I think you cracked yours. I'm going to crack mine real quick.
I actually have not cracked mine, but I will do that right away.
15 minutes. I haven't opened my can yet.
I know. I remembered to bring a bottle opener this time. Normally,
there you go.
Normally, I forget. Smells like Oktoberfest.
Is that just a good-looking beer or what? Like,
oh yeah, nice color.
I don't think I've ever really shown off the nucleation in here. But
oh yeah, that comes
this
up.
is what
That
my
comes through.
nucleated glass does.
Mm-hmm.
For those wondering why I have laser etching in the bottom of my glass, it's for that. It's so you get, hold on, zoom in. There we go. Hello.
Scary.
Yeah. It gives the carbonation a place to propagate and create bubbles and refresh your head while you're drinking. My beer glasses are functional, and I designed them that way.
Yeah, nucleated. Most pint glasses do not have that, so that's a special thing.
Yeah. Anyway, let's dive into some news. First off, this is kind of tech related, and obviously it kind of blew up on social media. Now, this is a company that's been around for a while, or at least an organization that's been around for a while. You remembered them a lot better than I did. I had heard of something similar, but I guess it's been a whole thing for like 5, 6, 8 years, something like that.
Yeah. I do remember something like this. Yeah.
Portal.org. Apparently they set up literally like Zoom calls between 2 points on the planet just with public-facing cameras, and they shape it like a portal, like you're looking through a portal. Their most recent installation was between New York City and Dublin, Ireland. And made it 5 days. This is one of their larger installations that they've done. This is probably 2 of the most populous cities that have done it before. They've done like Lithuania and like just random places on the globe, but they decided to target a couple major cities. And it was a 24/7 stream of whatever was on the other side of the portal. And so you're standing on this side and you look at people who are looking at you from the other side.
Yep.
Kind of cool. You know, hey, what's this moment in time like? Hey, it's daylight over there and it's nighttime here. That's cool.
Yeah.
Immediately started having some issues, shall we say.
Yes.
People being the biggest issues.
Of course.
So the Dublin side, no security. You could walk up, you could post whatever you want, and it was just there, out in public. New York, guardrails, 24/7 security. Slightly different demographic.
You would think in Dublin, you might get a little more like, late Friday night people peeing on it or something like that. But
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, I guess it was Ireland that fired the first salvo with someone streaming a news clip of 9/11 from their phone, holding the phone up to the camera.
To New York, yeah.
To New York.
Because New Yorkers are famous about just loving that moment in time,
loving that moment in time, right? So I guess the New Yorkers retaliated by bringing up pictures of potatoes on their phones and just holding up hundreds of potatoes. Friendly banter, right?
Hey, a little trolling back and forth, yeah.
Like, you show us our worst moment, we'll show you yours. Like,
yeah.
I for one feel turnabout is fair play. Did that get everything shut down or security tightened? No.
Nah,
they didn't care that, they were going that way with it. When an Irishman dropped trow and showed bare ass, did they shut it down then? No,
nope.
Of course not.
It's just a little cheeky. It's a little cheeky.
Yeah, just a little cheeky fun, right?
Yeah.
But the moment that a nipple graced those screens, gone forever.
Too bad. So sad.
Yep. So apparently an OnlyFans creator thought it might be and went all girls gone wild. And they decided to shut it all down. Shut it all down. Boobs is where we draw the line.
I guess that's where they draw the line, right there.
Yeah. Bare ass, terrorist attacks. No, that's just fine.
No, that's fine. That's totally fine.
That's just totally harmless. But
of course,
nipple.
If they put a topless carved statue, that would have been fine. That's art. They'll do that. That's okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh God, there was a comic that made it on Reddit today. Of like this female barbarian, in traditional armor, where it's literally just like a bikini halter top.
Yeah.
Just cover just enough of you to leave nothing to the imagination.
Right.
No protection whatsoever. And there's two corpses in the foreground. Like dismembered, corpses.
Mm-hmm.
And this lady barbarian's holding a sword above her, and she goes, "Did my nipple fall out?" No, it's just a piece of this guy's brain tissue. Cool, I don't need to censor it then.
Yeah, exactly. Well, you know what it is? It's those armor. They're highly magnetized. See, they're highly magnetized.
Right.
So like
Draws.
if somebody shoots an arrow, think that's what it is. So it swings a sword, just goes right to him. That's what it is.
Well, it's diverting gaze, so it forces the attacker to focus on
Those
where
spots.
you want them to strike.
Yeah, exactly. It's
like,
strategic.
This is where my armor's at. So
exactly.
Yeah. So that was making the news.
Yep.
There was going to be no fun or no real PG way to talk about that story, but I wanted to include it.
It's kind of humorous. It's kind of funny. It kind of was what was that the Shia LaBeouf art installation he did a bunch of years ago, and everybody just kept trolling him, and then he finally had to take it down, and then he took it someplace and they found out where he was, and they kept stealing his flag, and then he like went out into the middle of nowhere, and then they traced flight paths of planes that was passing by the cam, and they figured out where he was. they still went and stole it. It was just ridiculous.
Was it Shia LaBeouf who was placing the monoliths in like Arizona and whatnot?
No, it wasn't.
I know those are two different stories.
No, those are two different ones. But no. The monoliths.
Wouldn't that be amazing if Shia LaBeouf was doing that as a diversion to go plant monoliths?
That would be awesome. I liked the monolith thing. I thought the monolith thing was great.
I thought that was amazing. Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to do the same thing, but just start planting server racks.
just
a server rack in the middle of the Arizona one.
You need to find an archaeological dig, and then go there at night when no one's there and bury a server rack, and then watch them unearth.
And then on the way out, just like mount Unify access points.
There you go. Yeah.
Couple of cameras, Yeah. It boggles my mind what we as humans collectively decide what is appropriate, what is not.
Yeah. Well, and the fact that they just want to take it down at that point. I mean, how long was it supposed to stay up?
Indefinitely.
Was it supposed to be an indefinite?
I believe it was supposed to be an indefinite
thing. Oh, okay.
Or at least like 6 months or 9 months or something like that.
Right.
It made it 5 days before they're like, nope. We can't have that kind of content on here.
Right. Exactly.
Matt is glossing over some of the really cool things that happened on here. There were people reuniting with loved ones. Like they both decided to go meet at the portal.
Oh, really?
Like siblings would go talk to each other through the portal. It's like, that is freaking cool.
Well, that is, but I mean, everybody's got a phone you could do that with. I mean, you could do that.
You can, but I do feel it's a little bit different getting to walk and see someone in life size.
Yeah.
As soon as I saw this, I immediately thought back to, we're starting to get stereoscopic displays. That tech is coming, a la the Nintendo 3DS. Last year at Augmented World Expo, I got to sit down with a number of 3D display companies. My one thought was, wouldn't it be so cool to set up 3D cameras, perspective corrected, and be able to see a portal with depth to it? That's a cool installation.
That would be super cool if that could happen. I've seen like the kind of like almost 3D things projected in the sky. They had like a mist that was sprayed, a mist or a fog, and they would project something like that to make it look
volumetric
like volumetric display. Yeah. So there's stuff like that. That would be super interesting too. Like you could almost have like a street of people walking, what it would look like, in a different city type of a thing. That would be kind of a cool art installation there.
Yeah.
But then again, there's nothing stopping from someone being naked in those things too. So
Now we get junk in 3D.
look, we used to have streakers all the time through like sports events, and shut down the sport event. They paused it for a while, but they started it back up.
Yep.
Come on, and those were floppy wieners. Those are like.
I've witnessed a fair number of streakers in my day.
Yeah.
I had season tickets for Oregon football for years and years and years. And one of the funniest ones I ever saw was that I didn't even have season tickets anymore. I got some nosebleed seats up in the upper bowl.
Yeah.
But got tickets to a game. Went. We were playing Cal. This was sometime maybe 2017 or something like that.
Oh wow.
And I think it's the last game of the season. And fourth quarter starts. Oregon does shout and whatnot, and so they're all doing that. Fourth quarter starts. We snap the ball. We get one play off, and then someone from the student section jumps onto the field and just starts running. And
yeah.
This guy's athletic. This guy was making moves.
Yeah.
I don't remember which player it was, but like the security was chasing them all around. The players were being escorted to the sidelines and things like that. And they were kind of just like letting this guy tire himself out. Well, I guess one of the Oregon cornerbacks had enough. And so the guy started running towards the opposite end zone that I was at. And he's looking up at the Jumbotron, and all of a sudden he hears the crowd start yelling. So he starts lifting his hands like this and whatnot. What they were cheering for was the cornerback had a beeline to him.
He was gonna sack him good.
And just drilled him.
Sack that sack.
He had let his guard down, so he's looking up and taking in his moment. What he didn't realize is the cheers are because a cornerback is 30 yards lead on you, chasing you, and just drilled a shoulder into his back.
You would think that if a streaker got, avoided security and avoided maybe the other team, that maybe the coach would be like, hey, get that guy. I want him on our team.
Yeah. You would think, but...
You would think.
But no, and because none of the TV stations want to, you don't want to give, airtime to anything like that. No copycats on this channel. But there's some cell phone footage that exists of that moment. It's great to watch.
Yes, with everybody having cameras in their pockets, not much gets lost nowadays. Yep. It always gets out.
So that one was fun, but yeah, shutting down an art installation because an OnlyFans creator decided to flash the camera for 6 seconds. Like, come on.
Yeah. I mean, that they may find a way of, circumventing it and putting it back up, but once that person got that much attention, they put it back up, you're gonna have copycats. Exactly. So unless because they got, filters nowadays, like they have the filters with they make you turn into a cat and stuff like that. All they need to do is install a filter and have like 2 cats floating right there or something like that whenever somebody does it.
Just do auto censorship. I mean,
just do auto censor. Yeah.
Like, why don't we put some of those learning algorithms to good use? Like, we do live filters. One of my thoughts was the hardest way to police this kind of thing is going to be the latency. You're already fighting latency doing live stream, across the pond. But you don't want to add really any processing time to your stream.
Right.
But I think as long as you're still less than a second, if you can fit your broadcast, receive, decode, but also a censorship tool in the center there, that's a real-time AI. I think that's totally feasible.
Yeah,
to be able to put into place.
You just have to make it specifically for tatas, hoo-has, and ding-dongs.
We specifically train models right now not to train with those images. We would have to train models to specifically train with those images.
I volunteer to help
look
at those if you want.
I had a phrase I was going to utter, and that would definitely get me demonetized.
Speaking of Server X,
Yeah, Portal now with AI blurring.
yeah,
And I don't know if you saw today's episode title. It's OnlyFans are thinking with portals now.
yes, thinking with portals.
This has been Cave Johnson.
When life gives you lemons, you demand life take them back.
I actually was thinking of what could I do in response to the OnlyFans creator as Cave Johnson. I don't want your damn melons. Make OnlyFans take the melons back.
That's not a bad J.K. Simmons you got there. That's pretty good.
Thank you. I've busted it out a couple of times. It actually made it to an ad one time.
Oh, really?
So,
yeah.
Yep. No, I love J.K. Simmons. I love his voice. I love Cave Johnson.
The Cave Johnson stuff is funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it was my son loved Portal 2, or he still loves Portal 2. And he likes the Cave Johnson stuff. And so when he saw the very first Spider-Man, the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man, and
piecing his neurons together in his brain.
He's like, that guy sounds familiar. Where's he from?
Now it will haunt your dreams forever.
Yep.
This has been Cave Johnson signing out.
Yeah, there's some people who just once you hear their voicing a character, you're like, oh, I know exactly who that is.
Yeah,
I know exactly who that is. It was when we were camping. There's almost no internet out there. It was pretty bad, but we did stay in a cabin and they had a DVD player there. Mm-hmm. So we brought some DVDs with us. I'm like, we'll go grab some old DVDs that we have, and we'll find something that my son has never seen before, and we'll watch some movies. And one of them was Princess Mononoke. It was the Disney release that they had dubbed over. So they actually got like Hollywood actors to do a lot of the dubbing over. Gillian Anderson is in it, and Billy Bob Thornton was in it, and stuff like that. So, and we were watching it, and I'm like, and one of the characters in there is like, oh my gosh, that's Bender. There's Bender.
John DiMaggio.
John DiMaggio. It's like he's done so much voiceover stuff.
John DiMaggio has one voice.
Yes, he does. He changes it a little bit, but there's no getting around it.
The only difference between Bender and Jake the dog is
a little bit of difference.
It's his thing when he's getting electrocuted. That's the only inflection that he has that's different between those two characters. I know he would argue it, but
yeah, there's no mistaking that guy.
It's really funny how many I love character voice acting. Mm-hmm. I love following a lot of these people. Your Maurice LaMarche and gosh, who's Pinky? Paul. Anyway, lots and lots of voice actors. There are some voice actors who are indistinguishable from one voice to the next.
Oh yeah,
Billy West is one of those.
Billy West is great. Yeah, he's been in all kinds of stuff. But
Billy West is Fry, the Professor, and Zoidberg all in the same scene, and you have no idea.
Yeah, I know.
Seth MacFarlane is Peter and Stewie and 100 other characters in the same scene. And Brian. Brian's just his normal voice. Just like Fry is Billy West's normal voice. But those voices are indistinguishable from one another. Yeah. They are unique characters in their own essence. And it's so funny how many voice actors out there that can make a living doing that. And then there's other voice actors, and this is not a put down in any way, shape, or form. There's like H. John Benjamin, who is
you can't
Burgers.
But then there's sometimes people want him because of his voice, right? They want him. You look at Archer, and then you look at Bob from Bob's Burgers, completely different characters, but the voice. He's H. John Benjamin the whole time. Right, no doubt about it. Yeah. But you like them.
Then he does an Arby's commercial, and you're like, why the hell is Sterling Archer doing an Arby's commercial?
Actually, one of the best, I think, of all time would probably be Mel Blanc. Because he almost did all the Looney Tunes, and you had no idea that he voiced both of them. You thought that they were different actors.
He did Yosemite Sam, Porky Pig, Bugs Bunny,
Daffy Duck, Tweety Bird.
Did all of them.
He did all of them, yes.
Yeah.
And you had no idea that they were different people.
Yep. No, one of the only people who can equate to what Mel Blanc could do has been Billy West. Billy West is
Billy
one of
West
the only
is pretty
Porky
close.
Pigs that's out there.
Yeah.
And he only does Porky Pig. To put it in perspective. But what's really funny is you start learning some of the tells from some of the actors. Maurice LaMarche is one of my favorites. He does he's the brain.
Yes.
He is Kif from Futurama.
Oh yeah,
He's also Hedonism Bot from Futurama.
Oh, is he really?
Yes. He also is a player character that frequently shows up in Rick and Morty. And what's funny is he reuses some of his voices in Rick and Morty. There's one with the where Rick and Jerry are put into the simulation. One of the engineers is just Maurice LaMarche doing like almost Hedonism Bot, but not quite.
Oh, okay, and that's where you picked it up from. I was like, that's gotta be
and
Maurice.
It's like, and you read the credits, and it's Maurice LaMarche. Kari Wahlgren is another one that I absolutely love. She's the voice of the ship, and she's also Jessica in Rick and Morty.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Keep Summer safe. Yeah.
Yeah, keep Summer safe.
Yeah. But you'll start hearing her voice in a lot of things, and while they're indistinguishable characters, she also has a couple of tells where you'll hear a character and you go, I think that's Kari. I think that's Kari doing that. I think that's Maurice doing that one. Hey, Mike. Mike from Canada sends over $5. Jeff, any beer mail to open on the show tonight? It's funny you should mention. Because yes.
We do.
Yes, I have some beer mail. From,
should we do it? Should we open it?
I think we should open it.
Someone paid $5 Canadian to get this show on the road.
I don't know if I ever fixed my camera. No, I did not. So
is this your above view camera?
No, this is not the above me. This is just putting me as the main screen.
Gotcha.
Let me get that. Okay, I'm gonna add that source. I'm gonna put me down here. I'm gonna put me back behind that. Oh no! Oh, nope. That's right.
Nope.
Shoot. All right, you're gonna get the dirty version.
This is.
There we go.
This is the government work version.
Yeah. There we go. Yeah. What's funny is my main templates. This template. The LCARS is actually an overlay over the video feeds. Right. And so it has these nice, if you look up here, these nice rounded corners.
So it looks nice, like it fits in.
This one I didn't do that work on.
Yeah, you don't say.
And so I just fit the video to fit within the frame.
Yeah.
Anyway, yes, Mike, thank you. So I've got a decent sized box here. That I am very much looking forward to. I set it next to me so I wouldn't forget, and until 30 seconds ago, I had forgotten. So thank you for reminding me.
Wow.
All right. Oh, this man knows what he's doing. Let me tell you that much.
It's packed in tight, huh?
So we've got the cardboard box, and the way I always do shipping for fragile items is a box within a box. Or a packaging material inside of a packaging material. Something that cannot be removed from the item that you're shipping. That's how I ship all my merch. Is that supposed to have a label on it? Should I be concerned?
Is that a homebrew, or is that like...
I don't know.
What's the cap? Is the cap just a generic cap?
View Montreal.
So it's a Montreal. Oh, are these beers from Montreal?
Montreal, yeah, it's from Quebec.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, Mike, help me out with the. There's a README. Okay. I opened from the back side because my my address was still on the front side.
There's a README.txt on the box. Yeah.
There we go. Nope, that's just an envelope. Okay. Oh, there's a letter. Hold on. I got it. Dear Jeff, Mike from Quebec. Hello, Mike. I hope this package finds you well. Here are more beers from La Belle Province and from a special brewery in Western Mass. Included in this box are 6 beers, 4 IPAs, 3 canned, 1 bottled, and 2 stouts. 2 of the 3 canned IPAs and the canned stout are from my favorite brewery in Montreal, Bray Whiskey, Brewsky, Brewski. Yes. Brewsky, B-R-E, so it's capital B-R-E, capital W-S-K-Y.
That does sound phonetically like Brewski.
Right. Brewski or Brewsky. I'm assuming it's Brewski,
Okay.
because that makes a lot more sense.
Yeah.
Although Brewsky is smiling at me, I could totally get down with that.
Sure.
The unlabeled bottle is a New England IPA I brewed myself. Check the link in the QR code for a video of me brewing it with my coworker. Nice. We call it La Première, meaning the first one. It's a double dry hop New England IPA clocking in at 6.6% with a ton of Citra, Nelson Sauvin, and Sabro hops. Yes.
Nice. That does sound pretty good.
Be warned, it's not filtered, so the hops may be intense.
No.
You don't know who you're talking.
You know, yeah, you don't. You know where we're from.
Mike says it is Brewski. Okay. Yeah. I suggest watching the video before trying it. We're going to brew another New England IPA where we'll dial the hop profile, body, and color. I'd love to hear your thoughts on each beer. Enjoy them to their fullest. Absolutely. Yeah. And since you sent me beer, I'll answer your tech question. While I have your attention, why not a tech question? Would you consider the most affordable platform new or used for home lab with enough PCIe for 2 16X GPUs? Currently running Stable Diffusion LLMs on a 3060 and want to scale up. NVMe is nice to have. X99 is still the most affordable platform with multiple PCIe slots. Threadripper and Epic, for whatever reason. In 2020, I bought my first Epic motherboard for here on the channel. I bought it for my cloud gaming server project. Mm-hmm. It was a Supermicro H11 SSL. SP3 motherboard, 8 DIMM slots, 3 X16 PCIe slots, and a couple X8s for NVMe. Absolutely perfect for the needs that I had. When I bought that board, it was $215. When I bought the CPU for that board, it was $700. So I spent $900 almost on motherboard CPU combo. That was an Epic 7601. You know, basic Epic motherboard and a $700 CPU. That CPU, it's like $100 now. That motherboard is like $450. I don't know what the shit is going on with the used enterprise market when it comes to not letting go of Naples, of not letting go of first gen Epic. It's probably because first gen Epic was so much freaking better than Broadwell and Haswell. Mm-hmm. And while it's definitely been surpassed by Rome, Milan, you could even argue, going into Ice Lake and whatnot, it's definitely been surpassed. I don't know that there's a big enough need to replace all of your 7601 clusters. And so I think it's just short supply on the replacement side of things. Which means for a brief moment in time in like 2021, you could buy used Epic gear and get lots of PCIe dirt freaking cheap. Threadripper has never been cheap. In fact, X399 is also on its way back up. Come on, really? Specifically for reasons like this. I need a board with 3 X16 PCIe slots. Well, you have 2 options. That's it. So yeah, X99. I will be doing a video probably early next week about the computer that's under my feet right now.
It's currently warm in your feet.
That is an X99 rig. that's running my stream right now. Because I needed PCIe that modern consumer platforms didn't meet. Not even close. So yeah, I'm running PCIe Gen 3, but I've got 3 either X8 or X16 cards installed in this thing because it's the only machine that could do it without me going out and spending like $1,500 on something.
Yeah. It's the only affordable option, basically.
Right. Yeah. And it's just a streaming PC.
Yeah.
I do my video streams on this PC, but I had specific needs for why I needed this. And no consumer platform met this need of having multiple X16 PCIe slots. So X99. You can get some dynamite deals on Hunanji, on Jingsha, etc., etc. In fact, if you want to wait until next week, I'll drop you a link to the motherboard that I'm using. It's like $90, and it's freaking incredible. So, yeah. Anyway, we've got Hop Finder Double Dry Hopped from Brewski, Siltra Nelson Sivan, Hop Keef New Zealand Cascade. New Zealand Cascade hops.
Okay. All right.
There's no comma in there.
That's interesting. I didn't know
Hop Keef New Zealand Cascade.
Is that legal? I thought that there was a UK. Okay.
Let me explain something. Cascade hops are an Oregon thing.
Yeah, I know.
They grow them here. They're called Cascade hops because we are in the foothills of the Cascade Mountain Range.
Yeah. That's, I mean, I guess you technically could take, because Cascade hops are pretty common. I mean, they're not exotic or anything. They could take Cascade hops, export them to, Rhizomes. They can take them over to New Zealand and start growing them there.
I guess New Zealand is kind of a similar climate to Willamette Valley.
Yeah, they are.
So apparently you're stealing our hops by way of proxy through New Zealand. Don't think I'm not onto you.
But we got all the fancy hops here. We got a lot of like patented hops that they can't steal. I mean, I think
we have friends who brew those hops.
Oh yes. Is it U of O or I can't remember. One of the state colleges, they even have like classes specifically for growing and cultivating hops and crossbreeding them and all kinds of stuff like that.
Yep.
So yeah, it's big business around here.
Yep.
Uh-oh, what happened? Didn't you have like an opening knife? Didn't you have your like
I don't have my knife on me, unfortunately.
Oh.
I used a bottle opener to break the packing tape on the box.
Uh-huh. Oh, okay.
That doesn't work on bubble wrap.
Nope. You need your stabbing knife.
Ooh, I like what I'm seeing, though. Always good to see a wax shop.
Oh, wax is always good.
All right. So yeah, that was, we got a double dry hop. We got a Cirrus EDS Oat Cream Double IPA. The can art on these is freaking awesome.
Those are really cool. What was that again? That was called what?
Cirrus EDS. CIRRUS.
All right.
It's an oat cream double IPA, Eldorado and Superdelic. I know these people. This is Treehouse.
Oh, dude. Okay, everybody talks about Treehouse. I have yet to have a Treehouse.
Yeah. No, thank you for the Treehouse.
I need to get my hands on a Treehouse.
So Mike, we have another person who's in stream right now, John J. He lives fairly close to Treehouse.
I've seen it in the Discord, yes.
So I get some Treehouse from time to time, including like their Strawberry Belgian, like 17% only canned in the shop thing.
Oh, that's so good.
Yeah. Curiosity 141. I have not had this one, so thank you. Thank you very much. And then we've got another brewski. Tight Cocoa Palmer Brownie Stout 10%. Again, the can art is killer on this. I don't know who they hired as an artist, but I freaking love that style.
That's a 4.34. These are all like really, really highly rated beers on Untappd.
Another Treehouse. Coffee Truth Barrel-Aged Imperial Stout. 24 months in bourbon barrels.
Oh wow. That's gotta be some bourbony flavor right there.
Oh, you had me at hello.
24 months. Oh my
24
God.
months in bourbon barrels. Good
I
lord.
can't imagine that having much carbonation, but it's gonna be tasty.
Yeah. Yeah.
My God. Was that it for the box?
That was it for the box. Yeah, we got
Well, that
6
was
beers out of
all
that.
all big winners though.
Yeah.
I was looking them up, and I think just about every single one was on a tap 4 or
4 to
above.
4-3. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's as Cage would say, that's high praise.
I praise. Yeah, that Coco Palmer house, it looks good.
All right. That's beer flavored bourbon. Might be the
Basically,
other way
yeah.
around at this
Yeah,
point.
might be close enough.
Yeah, stouts, love stouts. Graphic novel in a can. Yeah, basically.
Hmm.
Good stuff. Thank you so much, Mike.
Yeah,
Very, very much appreciated. Yeah, you'll definitely be seeing these in videos,
yeah.
no doubt. This one you might be seeing late one night, but it has to replace Shelf 3 Beer 1.
Yeah, there's a empty spot right there that needs to be filled.
Yeah. All right. Let's see. I saw something about a P40. X399 it is. Yeah. Mike says X399 it is. Tell me about the motherboard price. Yeah, tell me about the motherboard prices. Thanks, Jeff. PCIe Gen 3 is fine. It'll be going with P40s for my GPUs. Excellent. Brandon says if you go X99, research V3 turbo hacks. No, just go V4. V3 turbo hacks up the power draw of the CPUs quite substantially. You get better results out of V4 with lower clock speeds because it's 14 nanometer. V3 was still 22 nanometer. So you get the latest FinFET, which was a big jump to go to 14. So yeah, if you go X99, go with a V4 Xeon. If you don't need a lot of processing power, something like a 2650 V4 is a fantastic option. They're dirt freaking cheap. They're 12 core, 24 thread, 2.8 gigahertz or something like that, but they draw like 95 watts at max load, and they idle very low as well. So if you're setting up more for like a GPU instance, that'd be my recommendation. All right. AMD.
Mm-hmm.
To confuse the ever-loving crap out of their model names strictly so they can put AI in the model name. I hate this. I hate
I know. I don't like
everything
this
about
idea
this.
either.
The announcement's been made, so they obviously didn't care about my input.
Opinion. No.
But AMD had essentially 3 ranges of mobile CPUs. They had U, which actually started with Intel branding with U. U was meant to be a low power or low voltage SKU. So you had chips like the 7840U, which means it was a 15 to 25 watt chip. You had the H, which means it is a high performance chip. It is a 45 watt part.
Mm-hmm.
Or 30 35 watt. Then you had HS, which was usually approaching desktop replacement, but usually very high thread counts, and so you would get 16 core chips using the HS moniker. Well, Strix Point is starting to do away with that, and instead the Zen 5 variants of their new mobile CPUs are going to be named the Ryzen 9 AI HX 170, the Ryzen 7 AI 165, the Ryzen 7 AI 150, and the Ryzen 7 AI HX 130. Who the hell thought that was a good idea?
Marketing department. AI is so hot right now. Let's name everything AI.
Because you turned on your NPU? Because like one task in any consumer compute will actually I am so done with the AI for everyone BS that everyone is trying to push right now. There's not a single consumer accessible product that doesn't run on a server that I need AI on my desktop for. There's not a goddamn one.
Not for not for your average consumer, no.
No.
Unless somebody starts utilizing that for some reason. I mean, I don't know.
It's using silicon for which I would rather have more cores or more graphics.
Yep. Yep. I agree.
Look, AI may eventually trickle down to some local use things, but the only way corporations like Microsoft, Google, Facebook, etc., are going to leverage AI to earn cash flow is if they're running the AI. So this AI inflection into consumer parts, I am so done. I am so over this already. And it's not even started yet. I mean, we got a brand new SKU in the 8840U, the Zen 4 based replacement of the 7840U. Exact same CPU with like 15% more neural processing cores. Which means like 5% real world gain on AI tasks. So if you're doing image recognition locally on your laptop, let's be real, everyone's using Google Photo or Facebook to organize their photos anyway. You don't need local imagery. No one's running that algorithm locally on their freaking laptop. Okay?
No, you need to create a VB GUI to do local image searches.
Yeah. It's so frustrating, especially because there's no differentiation between any of these parts anymore. You might as well just... Why is AI in everything? Just call it the Ryzen 9 170, the Ryzen 7 165, the Ryzen 7 150, or Ryzen 5 130. The HX obviously doesn't mean anything. The AI certainly doesn't mean anything, other than it has the same NPU units from your Zen 4 chip. I hate it.
Yeah.
I hate everything about this.
I know. But however, it's just all marketing stuff.
However, I flashed this up. No one saw anything. This right here. That little line right there. That's why I'm excited for Zen 5. We're moving from 12 compute units of RDNA 3 to 16 compute units of RDNA 3. We're getting scary close to discrete graphics card levels of performance now.
Oh, yeah.
20 gets us in the ballpark.
It's getting close,
16 is 35% more.
Yeah.
Than we had before. 16 compute units in the Ryzen 9 170. That's a paradigm shift from handheld gaming PCs that we have right now.
Oh, yeah.
And I actually talk about this a little bit in the video that will probably be coming out either tomorrow or Friday. I did a handheld review where it's another Ryzen 7840U. Why? Because that's the only chip that meets the demands of 1080p gaming at low settings on a mobile device. It's the only combination of hardware you can put together is that APU with a 1080p screen. And it's why every single thing uses it or a derivative of it. The Z1, it's a 7840U. It's a slightly better bin that gets 100 megahertz faster. It's the same freaking chip. The 8840U, it's the 7840U. It has more NPUs, which no one uses in this context. It's the only chip that makes sense. Because it has 12 compute units of RDNA 3. However, 12 compute units is a far cry from the 40 compute units of a 7600M.
Yep.
And that's the next leap, is like discrete graphics cards. In fact, let me quote myself. Radeon 7600M. I want to make sure I'm getting the compute unit correct before I... hold on. 28 in the 7600M. Here's
28. Oh, okay.
Here's tech power up. 7600M, compute unit 28. So right now, the jump is from 12 on an APU to 28.
Oh, to 28.
That's the difference between your gaming handheld
Mm-hmm.
and a gaming laptop.
Okay.
With a discrete graphics card.
Mm-hmm.
Is more than double. Okay? 16 might not sound like a huge... That's 35% more.
But we're getting close to in between.
We're getting into the ballpark.
Yeah, we're getting there.
Where maybe I can game at 1080p medium. Maybe I don't have to suffer with, 20 FPS lows.
Yeah.
Maybe I can drive games at 1080p low at 90 hertz instead of 60. Like, the increase in compute units is a paradigm shift.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very soon, especially in the mobile gaming market.
Do you think the mobile gaming market's going to try to do something like what Nintendo Switch does, where they have a docking station that you could hook up to your TV?
I just did a video on this.
Yeah.
And no.
You don't think so?
No. The reason being is the Nintendo Switch, people develop specifically for that hardware.
Mm-hmm.
So if you look at games like Mario Kart, that can run 2-player at 1080p, 60 frames per second, and a pretty darn solid 60 frames per second. Mm-hmm. You can put that into a docking station and throw it up on your TV. I can do that with PC games in the current handheld lineup with the 7840U for decade-old games. 1080p is still a stretch for a lot of PC games. Mm-hmm. At this level of compute, especially if you go modern. Things start to chug a little bit when you go modern games. If you want to play Helldivers or Starfield or
mm-hmm.
Baldur's Gate chugs.
Hard,
If you even turn up even some of the graphical fidelity on it.
Mm-hmm.
Nintendo uses very simple graphical designs.
They do.
Scale
they do very much
very
so,
well.
Yeah.
And to their credit, they're darn good at it. Like, this is not a knock on Nintendo, but the Switch is based on a Tegra 1 from 2017. It's
mm-hmm.
Kepler-based
mm-hmm.
DNA. Okay, it's 600 series NVIDIA DNA in a mobile platform. And everyone plays Tears of the Kingdom on it, and everyone loves it. But PC gamers have a little bit different perspective on what is playable. 24 FPS on Tears of the Kingdom, totally playable in that game. Mm-hmm. 24 FPS in Baldur's Gate, totally playable in Baldur's Gate. You put me on Tiny Tina's Wonderlands,
something
I
more
have
twitchy.
Some different expectations.
Yeah, you get a little more twitchy. You want that higher frame rate. Yeah,
exactly. Higher frame rate, tighter frame times.
Mm-hmm.
That's really what it comes down to. And it comes back to the 7840U, and this is a little bit of a spoiler for the video. It's not a great graphics processor. What it is good enough.
Mm-hmm.
It is good enough for 1080p low gaming. Would I want to throw this up on my TV? No.
Because you're going to see those imperfections once you get it up onto like a 65
when it's
inch.
on a 7-inch or an 8-inch screen, it's fine.
There's some forgivable. There's a little edge. There's a little bit of give there.
Right.
Yeah.
There's a little bit of give and take with texture mapping, with even with frame rate to mm-hmm. some regards. But if you blow that up, and in my living room it's a 75-inch, HDR screen,
it
doesn't translate as well at 1080p low. If you're trying to play mm-hmm. Starfield, it's like, oh my god, no. Especially when Starfield starts running at 20 FPS on that hardware.
Yeah.
Or Cyberpunk, or any of the other Red Dead Redemption 2, any number of games that chug on that hardware. It's good enough. It's not great. I talked to AMD last year. I spoke to a rep specifically about mobile gaming. And he goes, what do you want to see us do? And I said, I want to see you start prioritizing what gamers actually need in this form factor mm-hmm. rather than what you think they need. Start talking to people who are smarter than you. Start talking to reviewers, start talking to analysts, start talking to... What does my gaming handheld need? It certainly doesn't need 8 cores of Zen 4.
Yeah.
Good God, no. You know what I would rather see? I would rather see 36 RDNA 3 compute units and 4 cores of Zen 4. Or hell, give me 32 compute units. Give me 28 compute units. And fit me within the power envelope of that 28 watt.
Right.
Give me more compute unit of RDNA, because the CPU is so fast at this point, and we're rendering it. We're only expecting 60 frames per second.
Yeah.
Do you know what
At
Zen
most.
4 is capable of, even 4 cores? Bloody faster than that.
Yeah, way higher, yeah.
The CPUs that we're putting inside mobile handhelds are absurd.
Yeah.
So
they don't need any more. We need more, yeah.
And that's the one thing I said. I said,
Just
stop
graphics.
Cutting us off at 8 compute units or 12 compute units. You know, you finally gave us 12 back after you gave it to us in the first rendition of Vega. But I said, you've put out APUs for Intel with the Vega 20 and Vega 24. Yet you regressed to Vega 11 and then back to 8, and then you stuck with 8 for 2 generations of your GPU. Why? Were you concerned about cutting into your market of $200 graphics cards that you're not freaking selling anyway?
Yeah.
You want a killer product? Give me 4, maybe 6 cores, but 4 cores of Zen 4, Zen 5, and give me freaking 28, 32 compute units of graphics horsepower, because that'll drive freaking 1440p.
Yeah.
At 60 to 90 FPS.
And then you could have a docking station type thing.
Then you could have a docking station.
Yeah,
and you
'cause
could
then it
use
would
that
look
as a
pretty.
primary gaming machine.
Yeah.
You absolutely could.
Yeah, because
What I asked for is them
like
to shrink the 7600M, or at least give us that number of compute units with a much smaller Zen core. That's what I wanted. I said, you've got 2 chiplets on there. Give us 1 chiplet that's Zen, that's 4 core, 8 thread of Zen, and give us GPU compute on the other chiplet. Like, just slap that thing on there.
slap another one on there.
Town.
Yeah.
The other thing I said was give me more PCIe lanes. Yeah, DK, if you've watched my channel for any significant amount of time, you know I always gripe about PCIe lanes. So yeah. But yeah, stop giving us 8 cores, 16 cores, and then cramming them into a handheld and going, I don't know why the graphics are terrible. It's because you didn't give us any. The 7840U is good enough, and we take it because that's all that's out there.
Well, maybe they thought you were going to run a bunch of spreadsheets on your handheld.
Right.
Yeah, you can only play at 30 frames a second, but man, it could really sort that spreadsheet quick.
Right. So yeah, I had a long conversation with one of my reps, and I said, this is what you need to deliver. Because this other thing that you're giving us, look, if all you have is a hammer, every problem you see is a nail. When all you have is a laser cutter, or once you buy a laser cutter, every problem is a laser cutter problem. Like, there's a couple adages that I could go for, like the makerspace, that people totally understand. We make Zen 4, and it is the best CPU architecture on the planet. And we can give you 8 cores and 16 threads to run literally any process that your heart can desire. Mm-hmm. Okay, but I want a gaming handheld. Tell you what, we'll give you 8 compute units of RDNA 2. I'm sorry, what?
Why do you need that much?
Yeah. Maybe you didn't hear me. I'm gaming on this? Yeah, Zen 4. Have you tried it? Yeah, Zen 4 can power a freaking 3090. Have you tried gaming on 8 compute units?
It's not great.
It's not good.
It's not good.
So that's what I took out of this article, was 16 RDNA 3 plus.
Mm-hmm.
In the same thermal envelope, in the same power envelope.
Right.
35% more.
That's pretty
enough.
good. Yeah.
That's enough to go from 1080 low and 40 FPS to 1080 medium and 60 FPS. Like, that is a paradigm shift.
Yeah.
That is the difference between a $150 graphics card and a $250 graphics card. And I speak exactly to this in this upcoming video. So yeah, I'm working on it.
Oh, what did something just OBS crash or Zoom
No,
pooped
my
or...
PC literally just like lost internet.
Oh, okay. So it's
Like my
just...
like my network card restarted. Hold
Oh,
on. Now it says I have good connection. Okay, we're coming back. We're coming
okay.
back.
Okay.
There we go. All right.
We're back.
We're back. What the hell? Did I say something to offend the...
I was telling everybody you probably spilled your beer on your streaming server.
Yeah. Damn it, X99?
Yeah, that's
Might
right.
have been. Might have been a little of that. Yeah. Internet connection. It's Comcastic, right?
Comcastic.
I have no idea what happened. The rest of the house didn't lose internet. Just me.
Just you. In
Just
one
me.
specific reason.
Yep.
The Aurora Borealis was appearing on your streaming server. Localized.
I don't know if my network card threw up for a couple seconds there. Because my PC lost all connection. Like everything went
everything.
dark.
Yeah.
YouTube goes, connection error. Please exit and refresh. And I went, what? And I look at OBS and it said 0 bytes transmitting.
Oh wow,
And Steve's window just like froze in place.
Yeah,
And then all of a
that's
sudden
what it was for me,
everything
too.
went gray.
Mhm.
I went, ah! Time for a Windows update? I'm on Linux, goddammit. That sobered you up. Now gonna need an extra one.
Yeah.
Darn straight.
Well, I'm all ready for my next one. Man,
Well, remember I started with the tall boy, so
yes, you did. That's right. That's true. That is
You're
true.
more than welcome to crack yours
Yeah.
open.
I love IPAs. Don't get me wrong, but every once in a while, a nice, good multi-German Hefeweizen or Doppelbock or Tripel or something like that. You can't go wrong with that.
Your network card needs more compute units. Yeah.
Yeah, no
Maybe a
doubt.
fan? I don't know. Yeah. That was fun. Should be a flask that says my internet connection is Comcastic. Actually, I've considered starting to make customizable flasks where instead of in case of DNS, you could say in case of Comcast, or in case of Intuit or QuickBooks, or in case of SQL.
Yeah, in case of SQL would be good.
in case of CSS, but it's offset to the side.
Yeah, that would be good.
I've thought about hundreds of iterations of why you would want to buy one of my flasks.
JavaScript, in case of JavaScript.
Yeah. So, hey, welcome back, everyone. This is episode 334.5. 0.6 now. We're
0.6, a little bit higher.
Yep. We're an hour and 20 in. The internet went the way of John's pint glasses, I guess. Yeah, I still don't know what's up with John's pint glasses. John's pint glasses, they disappeared from the store. They're still not back. I have a ticket in.
Yeah, I know. We talked about it last time I was on, so that was a month ago.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So, I need to follow up with that. Anyway, where were we?
We just got done with the AMD, I think.
Yes, done with AMD. Let's move on to Microsoft. This is, regardless of where you sit, this is going to feel political. It's not. I'm not approaching this from a political standpoint. I just want to put that out there. I'm approaching this from a tech industry person, someone who's been in the tech industry for almost 20 years. Steve, you've been in the tech industry for 25 years.
Oh, yeah.
John's been in the industry 15, 17 years, something like that. Like we all are very long tenured in this industry.
Yes.
I have a lot of friends who are decades deep into careers. Every once in a while, we see articles like this. Is Microsoft's quests for short-term investor gains doing long-term damage to Windows, Surface, Xbox, and beyond. And I saw this article and I read my way through it. They bring up things like Microsoft's on the cutting edge of AI tools like Microsoft Copilot. People will use it's baked into Azure, and other similar language models will accelerate the speed of code generation and art asset production to enable new business models that have never been dreamt of before. But we also fired 6 studios over the weekend, even though they had profitable business models for us.
Yeah. That was a real head scratcher. Some of the Xbox studios that they shut down.
This goes into a train of thought that I've been having for a long time. And it is a pattern that repeats itself in the tech industry. I think more so than any other industry. And it's the new fad comes along and everyone has to buy into the new fad. And you cut whatever fat you thought you had, even though you're cutting profitable wings of your business, to invest in this new thing in the hopes that that new thing will be the thing.
Right.
And that's what AI is.
Yeah.
The reason I selected this article is this article summarizes my thoughts on AI. Copilot and other similar language models will accelerate the speed of code generation and art asset production and enable new business models. And if you stopped there, well, that sounds like something I should be on board with. That have never been dreamt of before. Oh, so you don't actually have a use case for it today?
No. And I've seen that they...
Oh! Did we lose again? No? Okay.
No, we're still good.
Okay, cool. OBS popped up a window and I went, oh crap, not again.
Right.
Yeah. Who was the comedian? Oh, there's a clause. There's a qualifier. There's something
qualifier.
that, yeah.
There's always a but. Everyone's got such a big butt. Let's talk about your big butt.
Tech is chasing AI right now because AI is full of promise, but it's not full of fulfillment right now. There's a lot of things we want AI to do that it hasn't been built to do yet. There's a lot of things. There's a lot of industries that it could touch, that it could enhance, that it could improve productivity in. But the development's not there to make the switch today. And a lot of tech companies, all the tech companies, are acting as if we're already 3 years in the future in their staffing decisions today. The layoffs at Xbox, the closing of Arcane Studios and a number of others, is a symptom of a problem, not a... If we're not paying those studios anymore and we cancel all development, we can write that off as a loss and we can invest more money into AI in the hopes that one day AI can do the work that studio did.
Right.
That's the world we're in right now. That's where we're at. It's why I hate AI so much. Am I interested in AI? Am I interested in generation? I'm keenly interested in code generation, image generation, music generation, language model improving search. I am all for the potential of AI. Do you know what the potential of AI requires? The development of humans.
Well, yeah, you need like super tons amount of resources to develop it, and large models to feed into it as well.
It's not going to code itself, at least not yet.
Do we want it to start coding itself? I don't think we do.
But this is a problem inherent in the industry. that simply being profitable is no longer okay. Exponential infinite growth. That's what every corporation wants right now. And this is where we get a little political. Exponential corporate growth. Make money for our shareholders. Let me tell you where that's left me. I'm a small business owner. I run my own business. I am self-employed. I have my own LLC and everything. I am not an employee of anyone. In August, the tech layoff started in earnest.
Yes.
With developers, with studios closing, with game studios closing, with developer houses closing, with people fear-mongering, scaremongering. A big downturn is coming in the tech industry. And we need to be ready for this. And so even if companies weren't in a position where they're like, we're still profitable, why the hell are... Oh, everyone else is cutting jobs. We should probably cut jobs too. Do you know what happened when that happened? All tech companies stopped buying ads. My revenue took a shit.
Mm-hmm.
For 2 straight years, I had an ad on every single video. And in August, that gravy train ran out. Because tech companies weren't spending money anymore. They were simply firing their most talented employees. The employees that cost them the most, and then not spending any on marketing anymore. And make no bones about it, my job is digital marketing. It just is. That's where I make most of my money, is in digital marketing. No one's spending money on marketing anymore. Which means I'm now reliant on AdSense. But guess what? No one's spending money on oh, right.
Yeah, oops, that's all ad revenue too.
And so the last 8 months of my business, very challenging. And then to compound that, I am reliant on YouTube. Not necessarily for the money YouTube generates directly for me. AdSense has never been a big driver of my business. But for the discoverability of my videos, of my content, of the things that I'm presenting and the things that I'm selling. Whether that was an ad integration, a company reaches out and says, hey, we want to buy a sponsored advertisement that we will insert into your video. You know, you make funny skits about Manscaped. Can you do one for us? Yes, of course. Absolutely. I love doing that. And they would buy an ad integration, and I'd sell that ad integration. Well, if no one's watching those ad integrations,
no one wants to buy it.
No one wants to pay that money. Which makes even selling parallel industries, outside industries, more difficult. Well, you're not getting the views that you used to. So my price has to go down. There's also the issue of YouTube itself. And Epos Vox, Adam, posted a video earlier today about YouTube doesn't care about long-form content creators anymore. They are all in on YouTube Shorts.
Yep, they were pushing that big time.
They're still pushing it big time. Do a search for something. 80% of your search results are YouTube Shorts.
Yep.
That might have included one keyword. Maybe they didn't even include a keyword. Maybe you searched for Halo and you got top 10 makeup tips. But whatever can keep the dopamine rolling, right? The problem is, I don't have the resources to invest in shorts. I don't have the production time to make shorts, to publish shorts. And even if I did, I can't sell ads in shorts.
No, they're too short.
I can't leverage that viewership to make me money. And AdSense is paying 10 cents on the dollar to the 10 cents they already paid on the dollar for AdSense revenue. That goes through YouTube Shorts. So why should I, as a creator, as a content creator on this platform, invest in the only thing that's getting views right now when it's not going to give me a return? speaking of short-sighted cuts and business model changes that are affecting every outstretch of your business, which you didn't even think about before. YouTube switching to shorts as their primary algorithm, as their primary driver, simply because they wanted to compete with TikTok, which, mind you, TikTok was never a YouTube competitor. YouTube was YouTube. YouTube was the verb. Twitter was the verb until Twitter wasn't a verb anymore. YouTube has killed their long-form content in favor of shorts in order to pay them less, but to keep eyeballs on YouTube longer for whatever analytics they get for that, so they can sell to other platforms. I don't know.
I'm not too sure why they push shorts. Because I go to YouTube for more long form stuff. I don't go there for shorts. I don't click on shorts.
That's what you've been trained to do for the last 20 years, is go to YouTube for long form content.
You're right. If they're trying to chase the TikTok thing, I know, and I'm not a big TikTok person. I don't think I ever will be, but I don't like that short form content, that little short quip thing. It doesn't really give me any entertainment.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. It could be a younger generation thing. They want to capture the younger demographic. So let's do shorts. Let's copy what TikTok does and see if we can get a lot of those things in here. But I don't think they need to do that. I mean, this is anecdotal, but my son doesn't watch TV. He just watches YouTube. But he doesn't watch YouTube shorts. He watches the long form of the kids who play Minecraft and the kids who play, all the games that he likes to play. He likes watching that. And they're usually like 15 to 20 minutes long a piece.
Yeah.
So if it's too short, he doesn't like it.
Yeah. The top 20% of creators didn't get hit by this either. Yeah. If you search for a video card review, you're going to get Linus and Steve's reviews on that video. But there are 30 video card reviews about that video, or about that particular card. You won't even get those on page 4 anymore. Right. Because instead of giving you the results you're searching for in long form content, they're going, well, here's Linus's video, and here's Steve's video, and here's a puppy.
Yeah.
And here's a half-naked chick, which I would be demonetized for if I put in long-form content. But since it's a short and it's a trend, it's totally okay, right?
Yeah, it's funny because I just did a 4900 review. I just typed that in. Right at the top, shorts. It's all shorts.
It's all shorts. So one of the things long-term YouTubers rely on, one of the things I was striving to rely on, is what we call evergreen content. Content that will be constantly searchable and found and viewed in perpetua. That is a tutorial on setting up whatever server you're trying to run. Because that's not a topical, that's not a popular current event video. That is, I'm getting into building servers. How do I set up a virtual machine? What is a virtual machine? What is RAID? What is a graphics card? What is VDI? There's a reason a lot of my videos have those kinds of titles. That was supposed to be evergreen content. That was supposed to be content that maybe didn't do so well in the outset.
Right.
But had 1 million views by the time it was done.
Yeah, it's got longevity. It's got legs.
4 years later.
Yeah.
I can tell you, I get views for 3 days on videos. After 3 days, I get nothing.
Gets buried.
I'm lucky on my most popular back content to get 1,000 views a month right now. And that is like how to set up Proxmox 7, how to install TrueNAS for the first time, how do you migrate a RAID, how do you, like the really genuine, not topical, not current event tutorial videos.
Right.
Might get 1,000 views. 4 years ago, those got 10,000 a month.
So something algorithmically, they're promoting shorts, not promoting the long form.
It's not algorithmically, it's discoverability. They're not recommending my videos to people who are even searching for them anymore. When I post a new video and I see via my analytics that only 3% of my subscribers got recommended to view my video, what the fuck is a point of a subscriber?
Yeah.
Everyone goes, oh, you have 330,000 subscribers. That's amazing. Yeah, and I wish they got to see my videos.
Yeah. When they search for something that's topographically related to you, they're not even getting you, which should take priority. Which should take priority because they're subscribed to you. Yeah.
You could search for my specific titles and not get my videos right now. Because YouTube is chasing the views of TikTok, because the views are hyperinflated of like, oh, this video got 30 million views. Yeah, it got 30 million views because it's a hot chick dancing in front of a popular song.
Yep.
That's not what YouTube was. It's not what YouTube is. It's not what YouTube should be. Like we all understand that adpocalypse happened, and you know, the late night talk show hosts flooded YouTube with all their back content, and they all of a sudden started getting a bunch of clicks. That's fine. They can post content to YouTube. They're creators too. Okay with that. What I'm not okay with is if you search for a VDI tutorial and you don't freaking get my video. I have 30 of them on the site right now.
Yeah.
You'd be lucky to get one in a result with 10 quick change videos on TikTok.
Yeah.
And that's what it is. Back to the root question. Is Microsoft chasing short-term gains and long-term payoff at the expense of their core services, which is Windows, Surface, Xbox, Teams, Drive? Yeah. And so is everyone else.
Yeah, everyone's going for that. We just talked about the AMD switching things to say AI. We both agree that most consumers are probably not going to utilize.
Yeah.
I mean,
so
I don't know.
Yeah,
marketing is marketing.
I don't even think it's marketing at this point. I think it's corporate chasing the next greener hillside. Because, well, going back to my root point,
yeah,
being profitable isn't okay anymore. You have to be exponentially delivering.
There could also be the
infinite growth, not just, oh yeah, we clear 500 million every quarter.
Right.
Well, why aren't you doing 650 next quarter? Where's the growth? Well, because there's only so many freaking people on the planet. Maybe we've reached the.
There's also this notion of corporate FOMO, I guess I would put it, the fear of missing out. Like if we don't get behind this AI trend that's happening right now, we are going to be left behind, and then we're going to look like, you know, grandpa's computer company. We're going to look like old IBM or something like that. Somebody who didn't want to innovate, because that happens. That happens to a lot of places. I mean, you even see it with breweries and stuff like that. Oh, you know, IPAs are the big buzz now. Hazies are the big buzz now. If you don't keep up with those trends and you just stick with what, you know, people have known you for, you go out of business. And it could be that they don't want us. And of course, it's just chasing market trends. Whether it will be profitable or not, we don't even know. But it's a hot item. It's a hot item.
Yeah,
it's what's popular now. It's the popular kids club type of a thing. And it is unfortunate because, yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff that AI does, but it doesn't do a lot of it well yet, and there's a lot of development behind it.
Yeah.
And I think that's what they're all doing right now. They just don't want to be left behind. They don't want to be looked at as the old archaic Microsoft's going to be, oh, they don't integrate AI into their operating system. They're old. Stuff like that. I don't know about YouTube though. That's a completely different thing.
I bring up Microsoft to bring up YouTube to bring up a greater issue, which is exponential growth is never sustainable in any industry, in any company, in any organization, in anything that you've ever been a part of.
Or well, that's precisely why they have to keep shifting gears. Like, yes, you're right. They can't. Microsoft cannot rest on their laurels and expect
I'm not
growth
saying
to
to
happen.
rest on your laurels, but I'm saying if you are a $200 billion company, if you're a $1 trillion company a la Apple or Nvidia, and you've grown in the last number of years at a rate that's never been seen before, and all of a sudden you top off your growth, but you're still 70% profitable,
right?
Why is that a problem?
Because if they see the new thing coming, and if they don't get behind the new thing, they will soon be down here instead of up there.
But it's the
that's what I see it. But I don't know if but
it's the whole cutting off your leg in a race to save weight.
Right, that's what I'm saying. It's like you don't even know if this is going to be the new thing. They're all doing it because of those reasons. This might not be the best way of doing it. This might not be the correct way of doing it, but that's exactly what they're doing. They're chasing the latest thing, and whether the latest thing is the right thing, yeah, I don't think so. I personally don't think so, but that's probably why they're doing it.
Oh, it's absolutely why they're doing it.
Yeah.
I don't know why YouTube is chasing shorts.
I don't know why that either. That never made any sense to me. I as soon as they introduced those, I hated those things.
You're an ad revenue analytic company, so you're going to deliver less ads and collect less analytics on a video platform that is driven largely by ads and analytics. It's precisely
how
does that support your core business model at all, other than we got 30 million views on this cool cat video?
Yeah, and that was the thing. It's like everybody was talking
which
about
YouTube already freaking did.
Everybody was talking about TikTok and nobody was talking about YouTube anymore. And so YouTube's like, well, we have to do it too. And that's why they're pushing it, probably. And they're probably even pushing it hard now that everybody's like, oh no, TikTok's bad. We're going to ban TikTok. And then now YouTube's better. We got the same thing, but we're better. And that's probably why they're pushing it even harder.
Yeah. It's just frustrating.
Yeah.
I have always strived to diversify my revenue streams. I have never been reliant on YouTube as a revenue stream.
Right.
At any point in my YouTube career have I ever gone, boy, I hope that AdSense payment comes through.
Right.
That has never been a thought. I have always had ad stream or revenue streams outside and much greater than AdSense to support my business. The problem is when YouTube makes decisions that then decimate the other revenue streams that I have, because my revenue streams are still reliant on being discoverable and viewable on YouTube.
Right.
Believe in Yourself says, I see absolutely no reason not to post your videos on OnlyFans. Look, I know that's a meme. I know that's a joke. There's a lot to be said for subscription platforms that provide video downstream. I mean, I'm on Patreon. It's basically the same thing. It was OnlyFans before they said, oh, no tits. All of the Dublin portal. Yeah. Patreon was on that game way before Dublin and New York were. There is something to be said for getting those subscribers on those platforms, because it can be very liberating. If I didn't have to post on YouTube, I freaking wouldn't.
Well, yeah, you're wholly dependent upon YouTube.
If I could bring 1% of my subscribers over at $1 a month to OnlyFans or Patreon, do you think I'd be doing YouTube?
No.
1% at $1 a month. That's all I want.
That's plenty. That would be.
Do you know what that is? That's $37,000 a month. That's $30,000 after credit card transactions. That's $30,000 a month. That's $360,000 a year.
Yeah. That's a lot of money.
That's $275 after tax. If I could bring 1% at $1 a month, do you not think I would be doing that?
Do you think you could do it at 1% at $1 a month? I mean, we have Discord, which does add additional value to watching your channel. And I think personally,
my
a good
Patreon
value.
is barely 0.01.
Oh, is it really? And we keep pimping it.
I pimp it every single video and every single live stream.
Yeah.
Do you know what else helps? Going to my store, craftcomputing.store. Get yourself a wallet. You too can be a bad mother flipper. I've got Xeon coasters. I've got beer installation floppy disks.
Yeah, that's my favorite. Get that one.
I've got pint glasses like you've never seen with nucleation that keep your head like this. It's amazing.
You got pint glasses that give you extra head. How can you beat that? Come on now.
Yeah. You need 10%? Oh God, I would take 10%. Or sorry, I was talking 10%. Sorry. 10%.
10%.
Yeah. Even 1%. 1%, I could make this work. $300K, so a pay cut from YouTube. You don't know what I make, do you? It's not high. I'll be perfectly honest with you. My 2023 tax returns, 96K after expenses.
There
it is. Eat it, Trump. I delivered my tax returns. Where's yours? 96K after expenses. I'm not making bank over here. Oh, it must be so nice to get all your hardware for free. Yeah, the hardware that I get for free costs me money to review.
Yeah.
I made 96K last year. I'm the sole income of a family of 5 in a house in one of the most expensive regions of the country to live. I made 96K last year. If I could bring over 1%, 2%, 5% of my YouTube subscribers and monetize them, I'd never have this conversation again.
Is there a platform that does that? I don't think there's a existing platform. I mean, there's OnlyFans, but
there's OnlyFans and there's Patreon. I mean, those are the two.
Right.
I already
does
Patreon as much as I can.
Does Patreon have like a video paywall going on where you say, okay, once you're subscribed to that, you can watch these videos? Or is it something else? I don't know. I mean, there's Patreon that say, oh yes, you can do this, but
Floatplane? Do you guys want to know what I made on Floatplane last year?
I have no idea.
One sec. I made $4,000 on Floatplane last year. I'm on Floatplane. I made $4,000 off Floatplane last year. Yeah, Floatplane has like 40,000 total people. It's irrelevant. Yeah, Floatplane has the 10% that I'm looking for. Linus Media Group can't convert more than 0.01% of their audience into monetization. Do you think I have a freaking hope of getting even 1%?
Yeah, that's because everybody's used to the free YouTube video. Once you get them hooked on that dopamine drip, they're not going to want to go to something else.
Floatplane, I will tell you, I make $335 a month being on Floatplane. I give them $75 a month to post videos there. Like,
so you're not...
Yeah, no, my total subscription is about $420, but they take the expenses off the top for server time.
Okay.
And so if I upload a video in 4K, which all my video uploads are in 4K, I pay for the potential server time of my viewership. So I pay LMG roughly $70 a month or $100 a month, give or take, depending on how many videos I post, because I post 4K content over there. So I only make a 70% margin on Floatplane anyway, and that should be my savior. When they have 40,000 people, give me a break.
Mm-hmm. I like how the super chats are starting to roll in now.
Yeah. Almost.
Oh, 2 of them.
Elmo, $10. I'm doing my part. Much appreciated.
Hey.
Patrick with $3 with a thumbs up. Thank you.
Dude, that's awesome.
It's difficult to talk shop. It really is.
Yeah.
To put yourself out here. And just be honest about finances. No one is honest enough about finances anymore. Everyone, because of corporate America, goes, oh, you shouldn't talk about your salary. When did it become taboo to talk about your salary, to talk about how much money you make, to talk about what your business costs you to run?
Mm-hmm.
Like, why is that such a cloak and vest kind of thing?
I don't know. I don't know why that ever was.
Well, they don't want you to find out that your coworker is making 2.5 times what you are, so you're going to ask for the same amount of pay since you do the same job. And that's the whole impetus behind it.
Right,
is
probably.
to obfuscate the pay. But it is totally legal to talk about your pay, and you should talk about your pay with your coworkers. I always did, and as a manager, I was totally honest about what I was paying my employees and what I expected of them, and what job roles I expected them to do, and what job roles I expected them not to do because it's not part of their pay grade. But yeah, as a content creator, I'm not rolling in it. I'm paycheck to paycheck like everyone else. I bled through a lot of my savings in the last 8 months because YouTube has absolutely shit the bed with this whole shorts thing, which tanked my overall revenue, and that's not in part with the rising cost of living as well as the layoffs in tech across the board, which means they're buying fewer advertisements and paying fewer dollars for the advertisements that kept my business afloat.
Yeah.
It's not a great situation right now.
Yeah, being beholden to just
But I got a
YouTube.
graphics card for free.
Yeah,
so.
all right, yeah. Yeah, even if you did turn around and sell those on eBay, it's not like you're going to make a lot of money off of it either.
Right.
Despite the ethics behind that, even if you did, it's not what you might get an extra $5,000 a year. That's not that much.
Yeah. Yeah, the hardware I get isn't tremendous. Most of the hardware that I receive is essentially a permanent loan from the company. At any time, they can ask for it back.
Yeah.
And sometimes they do. I've had a couple where it's like 2 years later, it's like, okay, we need this thing back now. Okay, yeah, cool. I'll take it down from the monitor stand. It scratches all hell because I use it as a daily driver, but you can have it back. And they go, oh yeah, not a problem. And sometimes that happens. A lot of the companies, like the handheld companies, they don't give two shits about what I do with the hardware after I'm done with it. I could totally sell that on eBay. But here's my review of the Ionia Kun, okay?
Jesus, that's huge.
It's $1,400.
Yeah.
It is twice as much as any other handheld with the same internals. And it's one of the most uncomfortable handhelds I've ever held in my life.
It's gigantic. It's got to make
Who is
your
going to pay
forearms
retail
ache.
price for that when I put it on eBay?
Yeah.
So it's a $1,400 handheld that I got for free. What am I going to get? $600 for it? $800? I got to sell it less than a new, ROG Ally, if I'm being honest. So what am I going to get? $600 for it? Yeah, that'll keep my family fed. That's 2 weeks of Costco for my family. I have 3 children under 11. Okay?
Yeah.
We can get pizza 1 week. Like,
hey.
that's about what that gets us. So, Patrick with another $2. Thank you. Much appreciated.
Such a gentleman, Patrick is.
I guess what this boils down to, if you have a creator that you love and support them off platform. YouTube can, I'm not even monetizing this video, so the hell with what YouTube thinks about this. Go find your favorite creators on Patreon, give them $1 a month. Give them $1. $1.
Yeah.
I'm going to pull the whole boomer thing. Just buy one less coffee a month.
Dude, there's no coffee. There's no coffee in the world that's
creators.
$1 anymore. There's no $1 coffee anymore. There's no $1
well,
anything. Well,
what I'm saying is buy one less, cappuccino mocha frip with blah, blah. Spend $4.75 less 1 week and support 4 of your favorite content creators for 1 month.
Yeah.
Go do that. Go support the people you support. I back 3 different creators on different platforms because they're people that I believe in that came kind of out of the ground from nothing and formed these audiences that are really important and I feel are fantastic creators. And out of my Patreon fund, I give them 20 a month because it's just like, yeah, it's money before I even see it. So it's their money and it'll support their vision. So Steve Hofstetter, Zach Freeman, and Zymar, who makes PCM plugins for RTX Voice. I give them each $20 a month. YouTube membership is $5 a month. YouTube membership also takes 35%, so it's $3 a month. I get $3 a month of your $5. If you go to Patreon, I get $4.30 of your $5. Is Patreon the best place to support? Patreon, if you want to support monthly, if you want to give $1, Patreon's the best place to support. I get my best return off of Patreon. If you want to buy something, merch is the best way to support. I get way more profit off making merch. I make all of my merch in-house, which means my labor is free. Labor's not free, but when it's you doing the work, it's free.
It's free.
Yeah.
You're getting all the 100% of the profits.
I do the design and the engraving, and my wife does the shipping and receiving. So it's free. So yeah, if you want to drop money on a pint glass, go spend $13 on a pint glass.
Yeah.
I'll tell you my profit margin. It's about $10. I spend $3 on the glassware and shipping and shipping of it. So I buy these in bulk. I buy cases of glassware. It's ridiculous how many pints I have in my house at one point. I had at one point like 100 boxes of whiskey stones. It was like, boy, these better sell, and they did.
Yeah.
But yeah. YouTube Premium does pay at a higher percentage, but the thing about YouTube Premium is you still have to watch my video for YouTube Premium to give me any money.
Anything, yeah.
YouTube Premium pays per click, and they pay at a higher rate than the normal AdSense rate. But if YouTube's not recommending my video to your YouTube Premium, I don't get that money. I only get it if you watch. And so, while YouTube Premium is a great investment, and if you want to spend $10 on something, YouTube Premium is a great way to go, especially if you constantly search for your favorite creators. I will say, go to YouTube, and the top left corner, there's home, and then the second button on the top left is subscriptions. Go click on that button, and screw everything else about YouTube content delivery. Watch the creators that you support.
Yeah.
And go support some of your favorite creators. Take $4 out of your budget. Go support 4 creators on Patreon.
Yeah, most of the time when I peruse YouTube, I go to subscriber. I don't go to home. I go to subscriber and watch the people I actually subscribe to because I clicked on that subscription button because I like their content, so I want to watch their stuff.
Yeah.
I don't let YouTube tell me what to watch.
Yeah, YouTube Premium is no longer $10. It's like $13.99 now, and if you want the family plan, it's $22.99.
Oof.
I know that because I have a family plan, because all of a sudden I have kids that are watching YouTube. It's like, son of a... God. But yeah, no, YouTube isn't the cash cow that it kind of was, but never really was. But unless you have a business model and the 3 million subscribers to go with it, it's tough.
No, all the super successful, rich YouTubers, whatever, they don't rely on YouTube to pay
nothing
them money.
About
no
any
any
YouTuber over 100,000. They don't give 2 shits about AdSense.
No, they do not.
Because
they don't
they're
care.
making their money
they don't
off
care.
platform.
They're doing it like you said, delivering ads or marketing their own products. I mean, heck, I've seen there's a lot of big YouTubers, like huge ones. They got products selling at Walmarts now. I mean, that's where the money's at. Merchandising, selling yourself as a product, basically being your own marketing person, and just using YouTube as a platform to launch from to get your face out there is basically what it is. That's the real benefit of it. I mean, it would be extremely, extremely expensive for you to be able to host your own video streaming service from your own home lab. That would be insane.
Right.
So YouTube does brunt the cost of that, which is nice. But
the thing is also, because I've thought multiple times, well, what if I deplatform my content?
yeah,
Then no one will discover my
no
content.
one was going to see you. Yeah, exactly. Everybody goes there.
Yeah, a lot of people chiming in. Yeah, the best way to support me is honestly on Patreon. Even outside of YouTube super chats, I appreciate every single super chat that I get, and it certainly highlights comments during the live stream here. But YouTube's still taking 30 to 35% of every super chat that you send. So if you send me $10, I'm making $7. Yay! Like, it's still money, but YouTube's getting their cut. And they're getting their cut at every step of the way. Patreon has some of the lowest fees per transaction per creator in the industry. It's still not terrific. It's 8%. But it's way better than 30%. And it's direct money in pocket. And it's accountable.
So merchandise and Patreon.
I can't account for AdSense because AdSense is a floating CPM based on a mysterious algorithm that may or may not give me clicks, that may or may not have actually happened. Maybe they see suspicious traffic and they demonetize you for a month, as they've done a number of my other content creators, Shannon Morse and Serve the Home and Chris Titus have all, Tom Lawrence have all gone through deplatformization and demonetization because we think some of your views are bots. It's like, I don't pay for views. How do I appeal that? Well, you don't, because our algorithm determined that your viewership was suspicious.
Yeah.
Cool, so don't pay me for 2 months. Awesome. No recourse. Support the creators you like off platform.
Yeah. It's not good to be at the whim of YouTube, of one corporate entity.
Yep. And as Novella Hub points out, you can set Patreon to $1. Right. So the way I have my Patreon set up is it's technically per creation. I will charge you $1 per video that I post. However, you can set a monthly max. And all you have to contribute in the month is $1 to get access to the perks, which is access to my Discord server. If you want to support me at a higher level, if you want to say, you know what, every time you post a video, I want to give you $1. I want to pay you $1 to watch your video. That is more than welcome. Or you can set a monthly max of $1, and the first video that I post of every month, you'll get charged $1. After that, it's free. And you still have access to my Discord because my minimum contribution is $1. That's how I have my Patreon structured. It works that way because if I structured it in a monthly way, people who wanted to give more couldn't. They couldn't. They would be charged for the month.
They would charge the base amount, yeah.
So I have, I think, 890 or 900, give or take, patrons right now. I make about $3,000 a month on Patreon. That is what pays my mortgage. Patreon pays my mortgage. The only reason I make $3,000 is because I do per creation. Some people have a max of $3. They'll get charged for the first 3 videos, and then everything else is free. Some people pay for only the first video. Some people pay for every video that I post that month. Some people pay, $8, $9, $10 per month. Some people pay $1. That's fine. The people who can only give $1, only give $1. You still get access to Patreon. If you want to give more, you have the option to give more now. Whereas if I just did a monthly flat rate, no one has the option to give more. I'd make $890 a month. That's why I structure it the way that I do. The more you describe YouTube, the more it sounds like a black hole.
Oh, no, it absolutely is.
Yep.
It absolutely is.
I'm from New Zealand, so it's $2 a month. It's $1 US. I'm sorry your Kiwi bucks don't carry the weight they used to.
Yeah, it's the Hobbit tax.
The Hobbit tax. We call it the Peter Jackson account.
What about first taxes? What about second taxes?
Second seas? Luncheon? Thanks for talking me out of launching my own channel. I said almost 6 years ago, I feel like I got in as the door was closing.
Yeah.
There have been some channels that have come up and they've been quite successful.
Mhm.
And I've been really, really excited to see them. There's a number of channels that I follow that started well after me, after 2017, and have been quite successful. A couple of them way more successful than my channel. I'm not bitter at all. But it really felt like the casual who could convert to full-time. I got in as the door was closing. And as it turns out, as the door was closing, it closed around my knee. And in the last 8 months, that's kind of coming to roost. And the last 8 months have not been kind.
I mean, there's lots of people who just do it as a hobby. Like that's what John does his YouTube stuff.
Yeah.
As just fun, I guess. I mean, it's fun for me. He invites me to drink weird flavored beers, right, and I do it. It's fun.
And John's channel's monetized, and he gets a little bit of revenue here and there. He makes enough to pay for his drinking fund and whatnot.
Yeah, that's about it.
And he has fun doing it, but that's all he makes from it.
Yeah, he's not. Yeah,
and that's fine.
That's fine.
But those of us who decided to go full time, who kind of bit that bullet and go, okay, I'm going to be a full time content creator, and do this, and then the rules are constantly changing. And I've got a wife and 3 kids and a house and a mortgage and And for a couple of years, I was doing really well. For a couple of years, I was making a lot more money than I ever made doing sysadmin. And then last year, I made less money than I did as sysadmin. And we've done very well to consolidate all of our debt and make sure that we're not overexpending and putting money in savings. And all of a sudden, 8 months later, that savings account is 90% gone, and you're going, okay. I hope my next project pans out because I'm kind of betting the house on it. You should all buy a temp sensor when they come out. That's what you should all do. Jeff describing YouTube. See garbage compactor scene in episode 4. No, shut them all down. Yep. Screw you, Coffee. Coffee and Cynicism. To survive the current ad winter, Craft Computing Logistics LLC. I'll finish up with this. From the very onset of my channel, when I formed it, I formed a lot of the structure around it, a lot of the way that I did things, with the idea that eventually, if I did this professionally, this is how I would handle this. And what I mean by that is if I ever did merch, how would I want to handle merch? And I thought about this in March of 2017. If I ever got big enough and I started selling t-shirts, how would I want to sell t-shirts? Would I want to contract with someone? Would I want to make them myself? Would I want to do shipping and receiving? I don't want to do shipping and receiving. I'm not a logistics company. I don't want to be a logistics company. I hate logistics. I'm good at logistics, but I freaking hate logistics. And so from literally the inception of my company, I said Craft Computing LLC, not a logistics company. Merch is like my number 4 revenue spot and climbing. I have a product that if all goes well, if all goes medium, it doesn't even have to go well, it has to go medium. That by the end of the year, I have a hardware product coming out that will exceed my YouTube revenue, ads included. Suddenly I'm a logistics company. So, yeah. Jeff, you're good at everything you do. That's my secret. I don't suck at anything.
You suck at logistics. Go look at the Talking Heads channel. You should go play this on Steam.
Except flute. No, sorry, except oboe. I suck at oboe. I suck at double reeds. I suck at double reeds. Maybe that's the problem. I should have been blowing on double reeds.
You should have been blowing instead of sucking.
Yeah, there's very few things that I've ever tried in my life that I haven't been sufficient or competent at. There's been a lot of things that I've been really good at. There's been a couple things that I've sucked at. I'm a musician. Primarily, I was a woodwind musician. But I cannot play double reeds. I will play brass before I play double reeds. So yeah, I do suck at some things. I am human.
I suck at bowling. I freaking hate bowling.
I'm okay at bowling.
Dude, I am so terrible at bowling.
In fact, I won at bowling in both the games that we played against E-Technics.
Yes,
that's right.
Yes, we did. And these guys were like bragging. They're like, oh, we hardly ever bowl. And I'm like, it's going to be easy. And I stunk it up worse than the Brits.
And they swept you under the rug.
I know. That's what I'm saying. I suck at bowling. I'm so terrible at it.
Yeah, Jeff is Mega Maid confirmed. He's switched from suck to blow. Yes. No, from about 2 years after high school, I switched almost entirely to bass, and I'm a bass player. Bass rhythm section primarily. I can do keyboard, I can kind of do drums, but bass player. Rhythm guitar.
Yeah.
But no, in high school, I played clarinet and saxophone, and was quite good at those. Will Jeff have the Rick voice soon? I'm not quite far enough into my stout, but it's getting there. By the way, can I talk about this stout? Maybe that's how.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We haven't even talked about that at all.
I haven't even talked about We talked about first beer. What about second beer?
Second beers.
Godfather Raven Imperial Stout. I hear tell they make a bourbon barrel aged version of this.
Yes, they do.
I want that.
Okay. Yeah, because when we were first talking about this at the beginning of the show, I looked it up on Untapped. I thought that version was the bourbon barrel aged one because the description said bourbon barrel aged, but it says this is not the bourbon barrel aged version. So they do make one.
Yeah. Let me put this into both a cultural and a regional context. Okay. This is Old Rasputin.
Oh, I love Old Rasputin. So thick and...
Let me put it into regional context. This is what Kavatka should be.
Oh, so you think this is higher than Kavatka?
I think this is better than Kavatka.
That's very interesting.
And that's a statement to...
Yeah, because Kavatka is like your favorite stout.
Kavatka is my favorite standard stout. Fort George, Astoria, Oregon, Kavatka stout.
Yeah. They
make it in a bunch of different variants, but Kavatka is their base stout. It is what they form all of their variants off of. Kavatka stout, I feel, at 10%, is what you should aim for an imperial stout. It has every hallmark and none of the drawbacks. It is exactly what I expect when I go imperial stout, 10% crack, pour can. That's what I want. That's what I want.
Do they make like a bourbon barrel aged Cavatica? They must do something. I know
They do
Fort
some.
George.
Yeah, they do barrel aged. They
No,
don't
I know
call it
Fort George. There's
Cavatica.
a whole. I know Fort George. There's a whole bunch of barrel aged stuff.
Yeah. There's also the Woot Stout is part of the Fort George.
Yeah. No,
family.
I think Wood Stout is.
Or no, not Woot Stout, but gosh, there's another collab.
Well,
Woot Stout is the Wheaton.
Yeah,
brew.
that's it's with Ninkasi, I think.
Yeah.
Woot Stout, yeah.
Novella Hub says Pirate Stout is right down the street from Jeff. Pirate Stout is great.
Yes.
But I don't think it's a standard stout.
No, because they have adjuncts. There's adjuncts in that one.
Yes. Pirate Stout from Sandy Yam in Salem, Oregon. Fantastic brew. Probably one of the top 3 on tap stouts that you can get anywhere in the state. If you find Pirate Stout on tap, get it.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Pirate Stout is an 8% stout. Not necessarily thick, not necessarily roasty, but at its stock state is rum barrel aged for 9 months.
Yeah.
It is everything you want in a barrel aged stout as a standard. We make it 12 months a year.
Very, very hard to find outside of the Pacific Northwest, probably, but it is for a standard stout that they make is absolutely delicious.
Cavatica Stout from Fort George. I will say, if you kind of ignore the rum barrel aging thing, Cavatica Stout is a way better stout, non-barrel aged, than Pirate Stout is barrel aged. Cavatica Stout is much thicker. It's much roastier. It's darker. It's espresso without including coffee. It's rum without barrel aging it. It's oaky without touching oak.
Yeah.
It's just a good thick. It's the truffle of stouts. Is Cavatica Stout.
The truffle of stouts. They do make a coconut Cavatica.
Yes.
Yeah, they do make a coconut Cavatica.
Yeah. So, yeah. Deschutes Brewery Obsidian Stout. Everyone loves an Obsidian Stout. Obsidian Stout's fantastic. It's also 6.7%. It's not a super thick, dark, hearty stout.
I'd rather go Blackbeet Porter.
Blackbeet Porter is better than Obsidian.
Yeah, I agree too. I definitely agree.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong. Deschutes with Blackbeet Porter and Obsidian and a couple other pale ales, they are a gateway drug into the world of craft brews.
It's where I cut my teeth. That's exactly where I cut my teeth.
It's where a lot of people in Oregon cut their teeth. Yeah. Is going, hey, I kind of want to try a dark beer. What's this Black Butte Porter?
Black Butte Porter was like delicious. It was like candied beer to me. It was so good.
Yeah. So yeah, no offense to Deschutes. Love Deschutes. Had a Deschutes yesterday. Had a fresh squeeze IPA. It was delicious.
Oh yeah, fresh squeeze is great.
But they're also not what I would call up to the same level of a standard imperial stout. Yeah. For me, stouts start at 8%, and when your Obsidian comes in at 6-7, you're going to be a little thin. You're not going to hold up to the same level of scrutiny.
Yeah.
And it's the same kind of thing, are we judging a double IPA or are we judging a Pilsner? Where they're just two different beers. And to me, Obsidian Stout is a different beer from a Cavatica Stout.
Yeah. Well, that's what sometimes there was a split in the styles because a porter and a stout used to be the same thing. Used to be called a stouted porter.
It's a graduated curve.
Yes.
It looks something like this.
Yeah.
Where at some point they intersect, and then you can call them either whatever they are,
or the other.
At some point, a stout overtakes a porter.
Yeah. Yeah. The porter is supposed to be a darker malted beer at a lower ABV, and then now a stouted one is supposed to be more I would say primarily darker roasted stout or darker roasted grains, but it has to have a whole bunch. You almost have to have it on that coffee level, whereas porters are supposed to be more like chocolate level, I guess I would say,
Right.
in flavor. Mm. Man,
Vodka Stout is a pathway to many abilities some consider unnatural. It's possible to learn this power, not from a porter.
No, porter is just easy drinking.
Yep. Which is why Black Butte Porter gets my nod over
Yeah.
Obsidian Stout. It's an
Oh, yeah.
easier drinking beer.
It is easier drinking.
It's also what, 5.5 or 6%?
Yeah,
Black Butte
no,
Porter?
yeah.
It's a dark beer, but it's an introductory dark beer.
Yeah, no, stouts is advanced drinking. That's advanced beer.
Yeah.
Porter is introductory.
Yeah. Yeah, stouts, triple IPAs, barley wines, advanced level drinking.
That's advanced. That's advanced beer drinking. Yeah.
You've gone pro. Or at least you've made it to the invitationals.
John Jason, he's got a 9.99% porter. I don't know if that's a porter anymore at that point.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, that's blurring the lines.
How long has it been in your fridge? Because it might be a stout at this point. Have you asked?
Yeah, it could be.
DK Vid says local pizza place has Black Butte Porter on tap. Amazing. Yeah. I had to spend a week back in Wisconsin one time, and every place we would try to find restaurants that said tap list, tap house, you know, fresh taps, whatever else. And we would go to this place and they're like 38 taps. And they're like, okay, what are your taps? Well, there's Bud Light, there's Bud Classic, there's Miller Lite, and they would go down 35 domestics. And then they'd go, we have a Blue Moon, we have
Hefeweizen.
we have a Stella Artois, and then we have this fantastic local craft beer from New Glarus called
Spotted Cow.
And that was their goddamn tap list.
Yeah.
And it was like that. We flew in on Saturday. I didn't find a good tap list until Thursday. Every meal, checking every time.
I went to, and I don't know if there's any viewers out here that live in the Phoenix, Arizona area. I went and visited my sister in the Phoenix area. And we were there for about, I want to say 4 or 5 days, hanging out. Tried a lot of beers there. I could not find one single local beer that tasted good.
Yep.
They were all bad to mid. That was it. I'm sorry. It's just what it was. It's probably the water. It's definitely the water. The really funny thing is not good. It was just not good.
There are some states that I have kind of in a non-conscious blacklist.
Yeah.
And Arizona's one of them.
Yeah, they just
Utah's not one of them. Nevada's not one of them.
Utah has some. Yeah, they have some.
New Mexico's not one of them. Arizona is one of them.
Well, from what I heard about, because we've been to Able Baker.
Yes,
we both agree that Able Baker, excellent beers. But what I've heard is that they have to actually get a more expensive water filtration system to get that level of beer.
Oh,
you can't just pour tap water in there because you have to filter that water. Yeah.
Yeah, no, they're not getting city water to get that level of beer.
That their beer is excellent, and that they're making that type of beer in the middle of the desert, I salute them because that stuff is really good.
Yeah. Yeah. Kansas, there's been a couple of things from Kansas that I've liked. Unfortunately, a couple of those have closed. There was what was that one? The Horny Goat, the peanut butter porter.
Oh, I remember Horny Goat.
I think it was Horny Goat Brewing peanut butter porter.
Yeah, it was a chocolate peanut butter porter.
Yeah,
and they are from. Where are they?
They're in Kansas, I think.
I think they're in Kansas. Milwaukee. No, they're Milwaukee.
Oh, okay.
Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Well, there you go. So no, Kansas, no. I will say, I've after like 7 plus years of doing this professionally, of getting beers from all over the country and all over the world, I have certain beers I don't want to see from certain regions.
Yeah. You just know they're not going to be good.
Arizona's one of them. Mississippi's one of them. South Dakota's one of them. Although North Dakota, quite good.
You would think like places that get like good mountain stream runoff water would make great beer, right? But not all of them. Not all of them do.
Not all of them, right? Like North Dakota, good beer.
No,
South Dakota,
no. They're right next to each other.
North Carolina, yes. South Carolina, no. Like it's something about the north side of the split states.
I mean, there is a skill involved. I mean, there's as much as we'd love to say like Oregon's got the best beer, there are some breweries around here that are just like mid. They're okay.
Oh, totally.
Yeah. So, I mean, there is a skill involved with actually brewing good beer.
Yeah.
It's not just the water. I mean, water does help, but it's not just that.
Yeah. Florida beer sounds like a war crime about to happen. I honestly don't know that I've ever had a Florida beer. I know I've had beer from almost every state around there. I know I've had Georgia, Alabama, Louisiana, Mississippi.
Cigar City is Florida, and they're pretty.
Oh,
they're pretty good.
That's right. Okay, yeah. So I have
Cigar
had Florida
City
beer.
Yeah, Cigar City is pretty good.
Yeah. Ran into a few good ones in UP, Michigan. Yeah, no, UP and Michigan proper both have great breweries. I mean, New Holland's in Michigan proper.
Yeah.
So, there's a lot of good breweries around, and every state always has the exception. Good or bad.
Yeah.
I've been to some really crap breweries in Oregon and Washington, let me tell you. But, you know, you roll into Abel Baker in Nevada in a region that you wouldn't normally think would have a decent brewery. And it's got a pretty fantastic brewery.
It's great. It's absolutely great. In fact, that's going to be my number one stop next time I go back to Vegas. I'm definitely going to go Abel Baker.
Yeah. I was down in Bay Area in early December. Went to 21st Amendment in downtown San Francisco. That was fantastic. So, yeah. All right. Well, it is 25 past the hour.
Wow, I know. We went long.
We did go long.
We didn't get through everything we wanted to get through, but that's okay.
Yeah. We got through the big ones.
Yeah.
And I wasn't sure where Microsoft short selling their own future.
Yeah, I don't know.
I wasn't sure where that conversation was going to go, but I'm kind of glad we had it.
Yeah.
End of the day, find a content creator you like, support them.
Yeah.
Because this crap's a lot harder than it looks, and we don't make nearly as much money as people accuse us of.
We are in a golden age of content where you can support whoever you want.
Right.
I mean, I was kind of like, I think I saw an article today actually about, and I've said this before, whereas like with the big cable companies many years ago, you would pay like $120 for your cable's TV show, and you'd only watch 2 or 3 channels. It's like, well, why couldn't you just buy the 2 or 3 channels that you like watching? And then streaming content came out. It's like, well, this is like really great. You can just stream everything you want, and it's cheap. You can pick a la carte what you want to stream. Now they're bundling those together. But YouTube is not like that. I mean, YouTube, you can support the exact content creators you like.
God,
you can directly support them if you want to.
Right. You can directly, literally drop money into my bank account via Patreon.
Yeah.
Or via the merch store, craftcomputing.store.
Exactly.
They both work the same way, and at craftcomputing.store, at least you get something in return. So,
yeah.
How's that for a design?
I love that design. That's my favorite design, actually.
It's so good. For a while, I was considering if I sold it, only selling these in 4-packs and making them disc 1, disc 2, disc 3, disc 4.
I would do that. Yeah, I would do that.
So I originally designed this up as a Doom coaster, and a couple people got those. I didn't sell them. I made them, and some people received them.
Gifts is okay. You can't sell them. You can gift them.
Right. Didn't violate any copyright law because it was not for profit.
Yeah.
But I definitely took that inspiration here. But the Doom coasters are labeled disc 1 of 4, disc 2 of 4, disc 3 of 4.
Oh, okay. Yeah. And the slate coasters just look so cool.
Yeah.
Like it says beer on it. I love it. It's so
The
good.
Xeon coaster too. There are 2011 pads on here. Ask me how I know.
You counted every single one of them.
I had to model every single one of them. Look at that. Look at this thing. It's a 2011 Xeon in slate coaster form. What do you want from me?
That's where you spend all your time designing that coaster.
I design a lot of things. I've got the Matrix style pint glass with a whole bunch of Easter eggs in it. And I love the Matrix style because of this bend right here. I love the idea of like Neo flexing and the glass going like this and the code bending.
It's not bending the spoon, he's bending the glass.
That's why this got this glass. Not because Matrix is intrinsic to the design of my channel, but because that's totally what a Matrix glass would do.
Yeah.
Like, I've got my circuit glass that I fully designed with the spiral bottom on it, so you can when you pour your beer, your nucleation will vortex for like 2 minutes. It's amazing.
Oh, beer tornado! You could drink a beer tornado with your glass.
Yeah. Anyway, episode 334. Let's do the live show. Beer Tech. I'm Jeff. He's Steve. Subscribe to Craft Computing if you haven't done so already. Like this channel. Leave a comment down below. Let us know what you think about content creation. Let us know, do you support creators that you enjoy watching? Would you rather they get money from integrated ads, or would you rather just kick $1 of your own to creators that you enjoy and support? I mean, honestly, I'm in both camps, but at the same time, if I could take 10% of you and leave for $1 a month, I would. So think about that. Join us every Wednesday night at 6 p.m. Pacific time for the latest in beer and tech news right here on YouTube. As long as YouTube's the thing and we're not relegated to YouTube Shorts. And as always, we'll see you in the next video.
See you guys. See you at the after party.
Later, everyone.
And definitely. There we go.
Shelf 3, beer number 1, Steve.
If I went to shelf 3, beer number 1, there's a good chance it's going to be a Henry Weinhardt's. My beer fridge is like empty right now. I drank all the good stuff already. I need to restock.
Shelf 3, beer 1. I got a dozen eggs.
Yeah, it's pretty much like, okay, so my beer fridge, which I
Good night, everyone.
I